All right, guys, so first thing I want to do is just go over what Laravel is. And I know most of you know that. If you're taking a course in Laravel, you at least have an idea, but we'll just take a couple minutes to talk about it. So it's an open source PHP web framework designed for building modern, scalable, and secure web applications. And it's what we call an opinionated framework and a high level framework. And I'll talk more about what that means in a minute. And it also follows the Model View Controller, or MVC, design pattern, and I'll get into that later as well. And Laravel aims to make the development process just more efficient and more enjoyable. And I'm sure most of you know what a web framework is, but just in case you're not too familiar, it's a collection of libraries and tools that help developers build applications faster by providing common functionality like routing, database management, authentication. If you took my PHP from scratch course and you created the Workopia project, then you know that using just PHP can be a bit cumbersome and repetitive and even messy. And Laravel, as well as other frameworks, they make things much easier and keep your application much more organized. Now, Laravel was created in 2011 by Taylor Otwell and has since become what I would say is the most popular PHP framework and one of the most popular web frameworks in general, regardless of language. And it's known for its expressive syntax, robust features. It has an active community. Laravel is used by developers all around the world to build a wide range of applications, anything from simple personal blogs to complex enterprise level systems and applications. Now, in my experience, it seems like when people learn PHP, they go in one of two directions. They either learn WordPress or they learn Laravel. And nothing says you can't learn both either, but WordPress is more for smaller content-based websites, blogs, things like that, small business websites. While with Laravel, you can also build that stuff, but it's also used for really complex applications. So it really depends on what you want to do. Do you want to freelance and do small business websites, or do you want to do really large complex applications for a company? You can do both with Laravel, but it just seems like people either gravitate toward either the CMS, WordPress and Drupal and that stuff, or Laravel. So I just want to talk about what an opinionated framework is real quick, which is what Laravel is. And opinionated frameworks, they come with a set of conventions and best practices that guide developers in building applications. And this can be a good thing because you usually get a ton of features right out of the box. And it also helps maintain consistency across projects and makes it easier for developers to collaborate with each other. However, it can also be a little restrictive if you prefer more flexibility and control over your code. So if you've ever used like Ruby on Rails or Django or even Angular on the front end, then those are opinionated frameworks. There's a lot of different features that come out of the box. There's a lot of conventions you have to follow. So there's a specific way to do things. If you've used something like Express.js or Flask or React, those are pretty unopinionated frameworks where you don't need to do things a certain way. You have a lot of freedom, but then again, you also you have to make a lot of decisions and you don't get many features out of the box. So there's really pros and cons to both approaches. Now, as far as why you would use Laravel, there's a lot of different reasons. So I just want to talk about some of the general ones. And in the next video, we're going to go over specific libraries and tools that are included. So first is rapid development. Laravel streamlines common tasks like routing, authentication, database management, and it allows developers to really focus on building features rather than reinventing the wheel. Laravel also has built-in security features for protection against SQL injection, cross-site request forgery, cross-site scripting, and it helps ensure that your application is secure from common vulnerabilities. It's also meant to scale and handle growth, makes it suitable for, like I said, both small projects and really large enterprise applications. It also provides built-in authentication and authorization features. There's actually multiple ways you can handle authentication, which we're going to get into later. And then also it has a very elegant syntax. And I know PHP can sometimes be known for being kind of messy and unorganized, but Laravel is just a completely different animal than using, vanilla PHP. Very elegant and easy to read and write. And then it has a real robust ecosystem with tools and features such as the Eloquent ORM to deal with the database, Blade templating, the Artisan command line interface, and we'll be using all this stuff throughout the course. And then database tools like migrations, like I said, the Eloquent ORM, you can use that to interact with your database instead of writing raw SQL queries. We also have factories and seeding and many other tools for dealing with the database. And Laravel has a large and active community, which means that you can find plenty of tutorials, documentation, and third-party packages to enhance your project. All right, so that's kind of an overview of why you would use Laravel. But like I said, in the next video, I want to look at more specific libraries and tools that are offered.